Hey, you are listening to Intercultured with Anya Dula, and ain't no music today. Ain't no music today. Ain't no fun today. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. There is no music today. I decided to. I decided that I wanted to just come on and have a more or less candid conversation. Today's July 7th, and yesterday I read the news and posted, and so I'm sure at this point you all have also heard the news about Sha'Asia, the mother who, one of the most recent mothers to die in childbirth after being neglected. I suppose I should say allegedly, but we know what it was. Medical negligence killed her during childbirth. And so now we have another baby that will never know her mother. We have another husband raising a child without a mother, and not for any other reason than the fact that we are in a maternal health crisis in this country that is affecting Black women more than it is affecting anyone else in this nation. And so I want to talk about it. I talk about it a lot already. You've been here with me. But one of the things that I've come to realize is that, or just my own observation, is that, these stories happen. We go online, we express our anger, our sadness, our sorrow, our bewilderment at the situation. And I think that sometimes what's happening is when we talk about it, we talk about what's wrong. We talk about, what is happening. We talk about all the ways, the reasons why, racism, implicit bias. Because don't get it twisted. Don't come in here with nothing else. Don't come in here with no patient blaming nonsense. We don't do that over here at Intercultured, okay? We're going to call it what it is. And what it is racism. And what it is implicit bias. And what it is people deciding that they know better than Black women, and that, child, okay. Let me just get back to this intro. So anyway, I'm here to have this conversation today. But one of the things that I realized that we don't talk about is we're not sharing for most people who don't have an understanding of the healthcare system, people who don't have an understanding of the ways in which that system works, people who don't have an understanding or don't understand how to communicate with medical professionals in a way that makes sure that their needs are addressed. We're not having that conversation. We're not telling people how to walk into a hospital or how to walk into their doctor's office or a clinic and to be it's like I tell my doula clients, how to be active participants in your care plan, how to just knowing how to communicate, knowing how to present yourself, knowing how to, and I'm not on no respectability politics bullshit either. So just know that, follow me and know that that's not where it's going to go. I'm not ever going to tell you to put on your Sunday best to go to the doctor, because the bottom line is whether you come in there dressed like $1,000,000 or you come in there in whatever you picked up out of the hamper, you deserve to be treated with dignity and respect, and you deserve to have quality and equitable health care to anybody else who walks in. So this is certainly not I'm not going to do that. just know that ain't me. I'm not going to do that. But what I want, where I feel my job is in this conversation, is to start having the conversation that teaches people how they can handle themselves in these spaces in a way that allows you to stand your ground, set the tone, and protect yourself and make sure that you walk out of that place a whole, healthy human being, whether you walked in there whole and healthy or not. Okay. The objective is that you go into these places, that you receive care and medical attention and assistance to the point that you are healing or recovering or healed and recovered, and that you can go home and continue to live a long and prosperous life. That you don't walk into a hospital or a medical space not understanding that, okay? Not understanding how to do your best part and how to hold people accountable, and yeah, so that you can make sure you walk out of there. So I want to talk about that today, and the way that I have a loose little agenda. I did put together a tiny little outline. I don't know how this is all gonna. I don't know how this is gonna go. Y'all been rocking with me for a minute. You know how I do, but I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet today. What I wanted to talk about, because if you have already listened to some episodes of Intercultured, or if you have already listened to, the lives that I do, or any of the videos that I've recorded on Instagram, or if you, especially if you've come to my Wonder Woman Wednesdays on Wednesdays, then you've heard me say certain things. I have these key words that I say all the time, or these key little phrases that I say all the time, but I never really break them down. And so today I want to break those down in an attempt to help you understand, help people understand what I mean when I say it, give you some examples of what I'm talking about, so that you have this information and can then use that to your benefit whenever you find yourself in these medical spaces. What you will probably find is that you can relate to one or two or a few of the things that I'm going to share. You may have experienced them yourself. You may know people who have told you stories. It's going to sound like, that's what happened to my cousin. I know it's what happened to your cousin, because it happened to all of us, because we live in America. So here goes the first one. I say this all the time. And the first time I said it, I kind of corrected myself. I was like, maybe I shouldn't say that, because that sounds, it's like inciting fear, or it sounds quite provocative. And it is. And it should be. So I've decided that I'm just always going to say it. And I'm going to say it until it's either no reason for me to say it anymore, or until I die, or my work is done, or whatever comes first. Any of those come first. But that first phrase is, they will kill you and tell your family it was your fault. When I say they, anytime I'm having these conversations, I am speaking they as in the hospital systems, as in the people who make the big decisions, the administrators, the executive team, right? I'm not talking about individual doctors or individual nurses, but I am speaking of them collectively. I am speaking about the bunch of them in a collective term. Yes, I am. But let me just say this. I know that there are excellent physicians out there. I've worked with many, many, many of them. I've learned so much from many of them. That's why I can stand on the soapbox that I stand on and speak what I speak to you. Because I've learned from some of the best. But what that also means is that I've learned what's right, and I've also learned what's wrong by working with these excellent doctors, right? They taught me the right way, and they also pointed out to me the things that are wrong within the healthcare system and where adjustments need to be made. And, you know, they, just as when I was a nurse, we all have the best interest of our patients at heart. But as individual doctors and as individual nurses, however, when we're talking about systems, we're talking about a bigger scale, right? It's the same conversation that people have when they want to say, when we're talking about police brutality, and people like myself say, F the police. They are horrible. They're terrible. They're murderers. They're terrorists. They go in people's neighborhoods, terrorizing the neighborhood, right? Killing people, planting drugs, selling drugs, stealing money from people. I'm talking about the whole damn police. Yes, I am. I do know. I have people who know me know. I always say this with a little bit of stank on it. I know that there are some good police officers out there. I do. In my heart of hearts, I know that there are police officers who wake up every day and they want to go out there and they want to do the best police job they can do, because that's what they wanted to do ever since they were 4 years old. And they're all about the community and all that. I know that there's like 5 of them out there. Okay. But for the rest of them, they're murderers and terrorists, and they work within a system that protects the bad ones. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about on the medical side of this thing, is that, yes, I know that there are excellent physicians. I know that there are excellent nurses who come in every day and do their part to do the best job and take care of their patients, and all they want is to see people heal and be better. But the medical system as a whole, the hospital system in the United States, the healthcare system in the United States, make sure you go back and listen to part 1 of Let the Medical Movement Commence, so that you can hear the first part of this conversation. Okay, get yourself caught up to speed if you didn't listen to the first part. But that's who I'm talking about when I talk about the healthcare system. Sarcasm on care, that you'll understand when you go back to the part 1 of Let the Medical Movement Commence. So anyway, first phrase, they will kill you. They as in the healthcare system of the United States of America. They as in the executives and administrators who set these bad policies or don't police up the physicians and the nurses and other people who do bad work that cause harm to people. That's who I mean by they. The whole damn system. It's a mess. They will kill you and tell your family it was your fault. So what I mean by that, you probably hear, you will hear a report come out, some sort of statistic that says something like Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in childbirth than their white counterparts. Why? And if you ask a lot of people who work in the medical system, it's like clockwork. The first thing they're going to start doing is rattling off, well, because they're unhealthy, because they don't eat right, because they're overweight, because they have blood pressure and they have a blah, 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 all that bullshit. That's what I'm talking about. So you'll come in, people will go into the hospital with a problem, which is why you show up to a hospital, so that they can help you with the problem that they are experts at. That's what they tell us, right? That's what all those credentials and stuff are about, right? And somehow, some way, that doesn't happen. The care is not delivered, or quality enough care to keep people alive or from